Hello everybody, my name is Fun, and I welcome you all back to the 96th character in this numerous characters ideas of Nintendo, third party, old school, new school, various Nintendo idea, various Smash Brothers newcomer ideas for, I just basically said it, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. And on character number 96, as I mentioned in the last video talking about Jill Valentine from Resident Evil, I'm going to be jumping back not only into doing a Nintendo character, but a franchise I haven't talked about a character on for a while now. And that's also partially because it was kind of getting redundant at the point when I did like Twin Tail and Springman and Ribbon Girl and whatnot. And I had others planned. I had planned on doing Ninjara, Helix, and like all those other characters too, and the Lollipop and that Mayan dude. I planned on doing a good chunk of them, but then I got tired. I'm like, you know what? And those are some of the characters I did throw out. So there are characters I threw out. I did mention a bunch of the other ARMS characters. But there was one ARMS character I still want to talk about because it's a villain rep, and I wanted to make sure I just talked about some more villains in this series. And that goes to Dr. Coyle, who is one of the major villains from, if not the major villain, from the ARMS game. She is basically the one that brings the whole entire ARMS competition together. And I never actually played the game. I stated that before. But I know of it. I watch people play it. I've seen the story mode and everything. So I know of Dr. Coyle to some extent. But yeah, she's the one that created the entire competition. She is the major villain at the end of the game that you pretty much can go fight. So yeah. Like, that's her, basically. But like I said, I'm doing this video because I want to talk about a villain from that series. And I think she's interesting enough to talk about. And I think it'd be a cool representative to actually see in Smash Brothers. So let's start without further ado. Moveset ideas. Before that, reasons for why she makes sense to get in. And percentage chance I can see her getting in. 3 categories. Cut the intro. Let's get this started right now. Why does Dr. Coyle... First of all, ARMS. Let's talk about ARMS. Why does ARMS deserve to get in? It's one of Nintendo's biggest, newest IPs. It represents the Nintendo Switch. It's marketing. The character might have to be a DLC. At this point, it might be one of the DLC characters for ARMS to get in, but it is a marketing strategy, and that is partially what Smash Bros. Is about, is marketing some of the newer games. The likes of Fire Emblem Three Houses, Generation 8 Pokemon, putting, Rex and Pyro probably as DLC, someone like Springman or some ARMS character as DLC. Those are probably super likely in the 90+% range, and even if they don't get on the base roster, but ARMS is a new IP. It represents the Nintendo Switch. We don't have any franchise in Smash Bros. Yet that represents just the Nintendo Switch. They represent all the other systems in the past. Like a character that debuted on the Switch, a franchise that debuted on the Switch. That's pretty much ARMS at this point. So yeah, it is a big new IP, and it sold fairly well. It's a series. The game was pretty popular, actually, and I do see them making sequels in the future. So there you go. And the character would be very diverse. Like, it's basically Lil Mac on steroids doing super extendo arms, like wee, stuff like that. Like, it'd be kind of cool to see these giant robot mechanical arms, like and that stuff. And why Dr. Coyle? She's like the main villain to the series. So all these other franchises are getting their villains. Like, we're seeing King K. Rool added, and Ridley added, and whatnot. And yeah, they're iconic and stuff too. And at least one of them deserved it. If they're going to add ARMS in there, this big story mode that's probably coming up, even if it's probably going to be a boss battle at this point for them, you add Springman and Ribbon Girl or whatnot, who's their main villain? Dr. Coyle. She's the major villain of the game. And she is a cool character, a cool boss battle, a cool boss theme and whatnot, and I think it'd be cool to see her get in there alongside Springman and Ribbon Girl. So there you go. Moveset ideas. Now, her moveset won't be too different from them because they were mostly, like I said, this before you start. They all had their special little ability that affected their moveset. Their smash attacks were standard punches, while their special attacks were all their special arms. And for Ribbon, Girl, Twin Tail, and Springman, I basically mentioned how they had a million different arms to pick from. So basically, you pick, and that was before I started picking, smash it. Your buttons only could do so much, and you can only fill so much in the moveset. So going back to those videos, just pick 3 or 4 or 5 arms and throw it on. There you go. This one I actually specifically picked 3 arms, which is what you go into battle with. So there you go, in the series, in the game. So yeah, the main special thing about her before I even get into the attacks is she floats around. So it's a Dark Samus situation. She's not someone that walks on her feet. She's like, I'm evil. And she can disappear, so she can do teleportation attacks. She's like, Raiden from Mortal Kombat. She'd be like, boop, 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 and all the other different video game characters that could do that. So, so that's her special abilities. You can do some sort of abilities to teleport yourself around the stage, and she floats, which makes her more of an agile, faster, movable character, which maybe would at least make her more faster, but takes away from probably the damage she can do unless it's combos or whatnot. So smash attacks, as I said, you have standard punches. The standard boxing punches, you like boo, 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 boo. You can go from a long distance. And you can charge attack. They're chargeable standard punches. Pow, 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 pow. Shoo. Bam. Stuff like that. There you go. And special attacks. She has 3 special arms on her. She has the lockjaw, the parabola, and the burchuck. So basically, what the lockjaw does is explosion-based stuff. So she'll charge up and send it flying forward. If you get hit with that punch, kaboom! And if you have a high percentage chance, that's probably the attack from her. That's going to send you flying off the stage if you're really, really, really high, really percent damaged. The parabola is an electric attack, so she can do supercharged, sending flying forward punches that are electric. And the burchuck is ice, so if she charges that fully, sends that flying at you, it probably would turn you into an icicle and freeze you for a few seconds. And cause damage too, so those are her special arms. And her final smash, all the other characters I gave a form of rush, because that's like the ultimate thing where you just go and you build up your rush meter, you go forward and you're like, boom. She has a similar version of that, so I'm giving her a form of rush, but I'm changing it up to her headlock version. And if you haven't played the games, there is a boss battle. There's a machine she makes called the headlock, which is this giant demonic evil looking head thing, which is what her lockjaw looks like. It has like a similar design to this giant metal head thing, and part of her final boss battle is her wearing it. So it's the lockjaw monster. It has like 2 arms of its own. It's demonic, like evil demonic, head thing that kind of controls her. She puts it on, and it's like rush mode to the infinity, because not only are you getting punched with 2 fists, you're getting punched with 6. So she puts it on, she's like, since you fly on the station, and it flies off her head, and she can continue this battle. There you go. So it's a modified version of it that's more deadly and damage-inducing, and visually different too. So it's a rush mode, but differently done. So there you go. Okay, so let's get on to her third category, percentage chance of getting in. Quite frankly, it's not the greatest. I do think I do feel we're going to get an arms character at some point, which would be DLC. But I'm sure they're going to go for someone like Ribbon Girl or Springman. I think those are the choices. Then one of them's going to be an echo of the other person, or do costumes or someone. That's how they're going to do it. I don't know if Dr. Coyle is going to be the top choice they're going to want to pick, because they're going to want to have to pick one of the heroes first. So that kind of, and I gave I think Springman some 80, some 90%. I gave Ribbon Girl like 60, 70, and I gave Twintel like 40, 50. I can't remember. I looked those ones up before this video, like I did with all these past characters like Leon and whatnot. Leon, when I was comparing him to Jill from Resident Evil. So I'm giving her a 25% chance. It's still there. It's still possible, but she has to have one of the heroes included before her to accompany them, and that might not happen this game. It might be a DLC. They put in Springman and make her join him as part of DLC. She might be, if the series continues, maybe she continues being the villain. Maybe they put someone like Springman or Ribbon Girl in this DLC for Smash Ultimate. Then when Smash 6 comes out, we'll have Arms 2 and 3 by then. She might be used more, and they put her in the next Smash Bros. Games. There you go. So 25% chance. It's not the greatest, but it's not the worst. So Dr. Coyle, as cool as she kind of would be, is there, but not super likely, because they pick someone like Springman and Ribbon Girl quite obviously easily. So that's it for Dr. Coyle from ARMS franchise, or series, or whatever, or game, or whatever you want to go with. Put in the comments below, you guys, first off, do you guys want to see ARMS represented? And second off, who would you personally pick? Do you think it's going to be Springman or Ribbon Girl? Do you think they're going to pick like Ninjara, Twintel, or someone else? Dr. Coyle, good choice. Would you go with Dr. Coyle? If at least maybe it's the second or third rep from the series? Or maybe different costumes, alternate character type stuff. I have no idea. I think she'd be kind of cool, but we'd have to have someone like Springman first, obviously. So put it down there. We can discuss it and have fun. My moveset makes sense. What moveset would you give her? Like, if my reasons make sense, what reasons would you give her? Is 25% chance too high, too low? Is a headlock thing? Cool final smash? Put it down there. We can discuss it down there and have fun. That's it for character number 96. When I return for character number 97, we are once again diving back into the world of Fire Emblem Echoes. I kind of want to talk about these side characters, even though they're not as likely. It'd be kind of cool to see them actually, like me, think of moveset ideas. It's kind of fun, and I had fun doing the Gray video. Next time, character number 97, or characters, another Billy Jimmy situation, I'm going to be talking about May and Bowie. Oh yeah. See you all next time.